The subject of our review today is what seems to be a rip-off of Flatliners, The Lazarus Effect with Olivia Wilde. I think it's Olivia Wilde. Not dead sure, don't quote me on that. And when you look at this movie, critics hated this movie, I can see why. But you look at this movie, it cost about $3 million, made back around $54 million, so you can bet studios don't care that everybody hated it. But when we do examine this film, what went wrong? Had the right production value, the actors weren't great but did their jobs, was a very solid performance, but the problem happened long before there was a performance. It was in the screenplay. You see, you watch the trailer for The Lazarus Effect and you go, aha, so this chick is going to die and come back evil. You can look at the poster and say, obviously, this chick is going to die and come back evil. Very simple plot. Well, so instead of it being Flatliners, it wound up being Event Horizon in a building without the gore, which is what made Event Horizon a cult film. Event Horizon, if you think that was a good movie, something's probably wrong with you. It was not a good movie. It was a cool movie. It wasn't good. It was just cool. You're like, yeah, blood, death, gore. If that's your thing, you watch that movie. If it's not your thing, you don't watch that movie. It was blood, death, and gore done really well. So if you took all the blood, death, and gore out of that movie and made it just a weird movie, you'd be like, oh, okay, this is just a weird movie. It's not cool at all. I don't understand the rules or what's going on. It's not very well defined. So this is part of the problem with the Lazarus Effect, is that the rules aren't well defined and it's not a clear understanding of what's happening. And then the second really big problem is that it takes almost half the damn movie for this chick to die and get brought back to life. I mean, look, if the whole point is she's going to die and get brought back to life, you should have started this movie with the experiment where she dies and gets brought back to life. And then the rest of the movie should be dealing with that. I'm talking maybe the first 15 minutes to first half an hour at most of the film should have been that. If your film is about something, everything you see in that trailer should really be in the first act, what's called an act of the film. If you don't know, most films are considered to have 3 acts. The first act, the second act, which is twice the length of the first act, and then the third act, which is the shortest act. That's how it's supposed to be. If you're showing me scenes from the middle of the movie in the trailer, something is wrong, because now you've set up so very much of this thing, you've given everything away. This is a very common complaint. So that's the problem with Lazarus Effect, is really what they should have done is started out with the central character dying and coming back, and dealing with that fact. And, you know, you could have done all that stuff first 10 minutes. The guy could do a presentation on what it is that they're supposed to be doing, intercut with the experiment itself, and then whatever goes wrong. She winds up on the slab, and they have to try and bring her back. Because you already know, going into this movie, that's what's going to happen. You don't need to show me these things again, because I understand. You just get right into it. And then all of the weird that's going on in this movie, all of the bizarre imagery and powers and weird, strange things going on, that can all happen and we can just see that. You could just give us 2 hours of this, or an hour and a half of this really high energy, strange things happening, people in jeopardy, now I'm invested sort of a thing. Because the movie itself seems kind of subdued. It starts out very slow, it continues very slow. Even when the action starts, it's not a great movie. You don't get that, okay, we've got to accomplish this thing to survive. You know, I just don't feel that. There's no rhyme or reason to what's happening. I don't understand how if I were in this situation, would be fighting the monster. And that's what causes the problem. In Alien, okay, you understand how to fight the monster. You can't hit it because it'll bleed on you. So they have the one where they're going to trap it, or they're going to burn it, or this is what's going on. There's okay, this is how we work the problem. There's a clear problem, monsters on the loose, and how we're going to work that problem. In this this movie, in Lazarus Effect, the problem is there's something going on with this chick and we don't know what it is, and we don't know how to work the problem. There's no workaround. There's no defined, okay, this is what's going to happen. This is our goal. We are going to do this so we survive. If you notice, almost all good horror movies are like, we need to do this so we'll survive. It's just how that works. So this is a problem with the Lazarus Effect. It's out there, it slushes on without much purpose to itself. The goal of the movie is set far too late. It's a slow movie without much substance, but it's a pretty movie. I mean, it's well produced for what it is. It's kind of a low-budget horror film. Not wonderful. I mean, if I were you and I wanted to see this movie, I'd sit down on the couch, grab 2 beers, and just deal with it. I definitely will not be going back to this film again. I'm glad I watched it. It's not a good movie. It's a B+ production, but a C- script. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, have you seen The Lazarus Effect? Why don't you tell me what I got wrong? Because I don't know all that much about film. Okay, so help me out there. Comments below. Tell me what you liked or didn't like about the movie. Things I maybe should have noticed or commented on in this review. I'm Richard. I don't know why I'm doing 2 thumbs up, because that's not this movie.